Imagine a man so large, so feared, that even Rome trembled when he rose to power. A warrior born in obscurity, a giant from the edge of the empire, a soldier who climbed from nothing to rule the most powerful civilization on earth. And yet, for all his strength, for all his victories, his story would end the same way as every empire before him, in betrayal, in blood, in silence. This is the forgotten story of the giant who became Roman emperor, and the terrifying truth his rise revealed about power, fear, and the fate waiting at the end of every throne. Far from marble temples and golden palaces, on the harsh frontiers of Rome, a child was born into hardship. No noble name, no royal blood, no destiny promised by prophecy, only survival. The land was brutal, the winters unforgiving, and in this world, strength was not admired. It was necessary. By adulthood, his size alone had become legend. Ancient writers claimed he stood closer to a giant than a man, a towering presence that silenced rooms before he ever spoke. But Rome did not reward size. Rome rewarded power, and power had to be taken. History would remember him as Maximinus Thrax. He chose the only path where a nameless man could become something more: the army. Among soldiers, strength was currency, violence was language, survival was loyalty. Here, the giant thrived. Battle after battle, campaign after campaign, his reputation grew. Not as a thinker, not as a ruler, but as something far more dangerous, a weapon. And Rome, in its endless hunger for war, always needed weapons. But the empire was changing. By the 3rd century, Rome was no longer unbreakable. Borders cracked, enemies pressed inward, emperors rose and fell with terrifying speed. The throne of Rome had become less a crown and more a death sentence. Soldiers no longer trusted distant rulers wrapped in silk. They wanted strength, certainty, someone who looked like survival itself. They chose the giant. In the year 235, the impossible happened. From the fringes of the world, Maximinus Thrax was proclaimed Emperor of Rome. No dynasty, no divine bloodline, no ancient claim, only the will of the army. For the first time, the greatest empire on earth was ruled not by heritage, but by force. And in that moment, something inside Rome quietly broke. Because when power belongs to strength alone, nothing is safe for long. As emperor, he ruled the only way he understood, through fear, through discipline, through endless war. He trusted soldiers, not senators, steel, not promises, survival, not peace. Campaigns stretched across frozen frontiers. Taxes grew heavier. Tension filled the empire like smoke, waiting for a spark. To some, he was Rome's last protector. To others, a monster wearing a crown. And in Rome, monsters never rule for long. Because power, taken by force, must always fear force returning. Whispers rose in distant provinces. Rebellion stirred in shadow. New emperors were declared before the old one had fallen. The empire was no longer united. It was watching, waiting, measuring the strength of the giant who ruled them. And slowly, inevitably, fear turned against him. In the cold year of 238, the end arrived. Not in glory, not in battle, but in the darkness of his own camp. The soldiers who once lifted him to power now faced hunger, exhaustion, and endless war. And somewhere in that darkness, loyalty died. Blades were drawn, not against Rome's enemies, but against Rome's emperor. The giant who conquered fear could not escape betrayal. He fell not to an empire, but to the same violence that had raised him. And just like that, the strongest man in Rome was gone. His reign ended in silence, his body buried without glory, his name fading into dust. Because Rome remembered victories, Rome remembered legends. But Rome tried to forget what he revealed, a truth too dangerous to face. Empires built on power alone must eventually be ruled by fear and destroyed by it. Yet his story still echoes, not because he was noble, not because he was wise, but because he exposed something timeless and deeply human. We believe strength can save us. We believe power can protect us. We believe becoming unstoppable will keep fate away. But history whispers otherwise. The giant who ruled Rome could command armies, shake nations, wear the crown of the world, and still meet the same ending as every forgotten soul before him. Because no throne is high enough to escape time, no strength great enough to defeat death, no empire powerful enough to last forever. Somewhere in the ruins of memory, the shadow of a giant still stands, a warning that fear can build a throne, but never protect it, and a question that still lingers across centuries. If strength alone cannot save us, what can? Subscribe to Immortal Kings for cinematic journeys into ancient mysteries, forgotten rulers, and the first legends of humanity. Because the deeper you go into the past, the more you realize history isn't what we know. History is what survived. And some stories are still waiting to be found.